So what's the difference between a trademark and a registered mark? We see those little TMs on logos and the little R's and the circles. What's the difference between the two?
Sure, and that's a great question because that comes up a lot. So trademark is a product of state law, but also federal law, and it's also common law. So trademarks have been used, and they originate back in the day. I mean, if we flash backward in time, the branding that farms would put on their cattle, that is, some would consider that one of the most original trademarks there is, because that is the source of this cattle. If the cows wander off to another farm, they'll know exactly where to return those cows. And the reason I go into this is that there are these common law rights. When you start using a mark as a trademark, then you are essentially drawing that line in the sand saying, even if I've done no other research and even if nothing else, I am using this word or logo or insignia, whatever it is, as a trademark. And I expect the protections that come along with that. And so when you come up with that, whatever it is, GCMD or marketing buzz, you can put the TM on it. And all that means is I'm using this as a trademark. No one is allowed to use the R with a circle until you have a federally registered trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Okay. And so, as clients come to you and you see that R with a circle on a brand that they want to rebrand or come in, you can kind of have this like added benefit to them by pointing that out and say, oh, you've got a registered trademark. And if they're like, no, I don't, now that, well, actually, you can't use that R with a circle. Go with the TM instead. And a lot of clients will come with their brands and they don't use the TM. And we tell them immediately, like, it's a good idea to use the TM. Even when you are writing about your brand, use it even in line in the sentence to say that this is a white cab coffee. So you want the world to be on notice that you actually are making a claim to that trademark. And those common law rights vary depending on how you use the mark, but at the very least you have a local geographic protection if you are the first user in that line of business.
Okay.
And it's free, the TM.
Right.
There's no cost to use it. That's the
great point.
So you just drop it on there and you're safe, then it's kind of safe.
That's not a fair statement to say you're safe, because all it means is you're putting the world on notice that you're using it as a trademark. There could be a number of other reasons why that trademark is not safe, and you'll probably
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure both of you have had stories that go along with that.
I mean, you could be using someone else's mark already.
Right.
So just putting TM on it doesn't protect you against that. I had a company a few years ago that had a name that was similar to, or used a portion of a name that a much larger, more well-known company used. Now, we were in a different field, but this company sent us a cease and desist letter. It said, stop using that. It sounds too much like our name. And, it was, I don't know if I necessarily agreed, but nevertheless, they had an attorney who was coming, spending time, spending money to contact me and say they want us to change our name. And this was one where we had a TM next to ours. But nevertheless, we're in this situation. So we ended up contacting them. I mean, anytime this type of a situation comes up, you've got a few options that you can do, and I'm sure you've dealt with clients in this respect. You can, if you don't agree, you can just ignore it at your peril or benefit, depending on the situation. If you are unfamiliar with the field of trademark law, it's probably time to talk to a trademark attorney and get some actual good advice on it. We reached out and contacted the company directly and said, I'm not sure that your argument is quite right here. And they gave us their position, and we said, all right, maybe we can reach a middle ground. If we rebrand, can you pitch in some cash to cover the rebranding? Because that's going to cost us some money. And
right.
and you might have a case, but it's not terribly strong anyway. So, and they did. They cut us a check.
Oh, good.
And at the end, we were actually kind of liked the new brand better anyway. It wasn't too difficult for us to rebrand, and everyone was happy. They don't have to spend more on legal fees. We don't have to spend more on legal fees, and it worked out well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I've heard of other people